Cooper Marchie here. I have 3 baby owls without their mother. I'm worried that they may fly off. This was a call to Wild Friends, the state and federally licensed rehabilitation area of Best Friends Animal Sanctuary, received from Al, who sells hay. He already knew about Wild Friends, having called 2 years before about other orphaned young birds. So, Corrine Blosfeld, wildlife rehabilitator, drove to Bigwater, Utah to pick up the owls. Corrine arrived in Bigwater, and she could see Al's open truck from which he was selling hay. She climbed up into the truck and found not just 3, but 6 little nestling owls, all clustered together in a space between the hay bundles. Al had been pulling out the hay to sell it when he came across them. Earlier that morning, without realizing that the baby owls were in his truck, he had driven from Holden, Utah, and unfortunately, the owl parents must have flown away. The nestlings were too young to fly, actually, and as soon as they spotted Corrine, they knew in an instant that she was not their mom. Instead of realizing that they were being rescued, they were mad and began to scream. Anyone who's ever heard the sound of an adult barn owl will never forget it. It's a gigantic scream. The baby's screams were not quite as enormous as that, but it was still loud. All 6 owls lay flat on their backs with their feet out in the air, screaming with all their might, completely unaware that someone was helping them. Corrine carefully picked up each one and placed all 6 of the babies in a soft-sided carrier so they could travel safely. On the way back, to ensure a gentle ride for the babies, she played no music and kept the car at an even temperature. The drive back took around 90 minutes. At every bump in the road, the babies screamed again. In a way, this was good. It meant that they were healthy and energetic enough to scream. As soon as they arrived safely at Best Friends, they were put up in a quarantine room with a heating pad. Bradley Kay, Wild Friends life-saving and care supervisor, was there to help. She and Corrine got ready to feed the baby owls. First, they donned gloves and masks and gowns to protect the babies from any germs while they were being weighed. Then they put on suits designed to make them look like natural shrubs. Wildlife patients shouldn't get used to looking at humans. After they had all been weighed, they settled down for a while, peaceful at last. They're left alone with just each other's company. One of the most important things that rehabilitators do is to make sure that wild animals in their care do not ever become tame. That would jeopardize their ability to survive in the wild after they're released. It would make hard for them to relate to other owls and live a normal owl life. For the moment, the baby barn owls are being fed 4 times a day. Corrine and Lauren wear masks while feeding them, and they have a little puppet that looks like a barn owl. Soon the babies will be getting in their feathers, and the feathers, they'll be able to regulate their temperature and won't need much additional heating. Then they'll be ready for release. They'll most likely be released near Holden, Utah, where there was their original home. Soon these barn owl babies at Wild Friends will have a happy future back in the wild, living free again in the beauty of the natural world. I am so happy for them and so grateful for these rehabilitators who go out of their way to save these babies. I love owls, don't you? Cooper Marchie here. Ciao.